The project Greenland is Melting really kicked off a lot in my mind with regards to how do we tell this really important story of climate change visually. Part of a challenge, or part of my challenge when I get assigned a story about climate change, is how do you further the discussion? And so trying to find stories like Greenland is Melting is really important, to find these very proximate examples of actual effects of a warming planet. Going to Greenland, which is the second biggest sheet of ice that we have in the world, and getting to take a plane to the top of it, 11,000 feet of ice below you. It's a very humbling experience to see what it actually means to be on top of a mountain of water that could enter the ocean at some point. And so when I then was able to go to the surface of the ice, to one of those puddles, and actually see how big it is and how much water is rushing off of it, it's a very emotional moment. There is tons of water pouring off the ice sheet. So to try to bring attention to the work of an often ignored population, the academics that are risking their lives and spending their entire summers trying to help us better plan and anticipate what our futures will be like. And that's something I think about a lot living on the coasts. I grew up in California and am a lover of nature. And frequently growing up, we would explore in the Sierra Nevada. And in that area, you have so many glacial valleys there that have been formed by glaciers moving through them. And so this is definitely something that I grew up, thinking about when I would walk in these spaces. With Greenland is Melting, we employ the use of a drone. And that's something that just on the very nature of it as a technology really gets at this younger generation. And so I wanted to give that the perspective of being a bird flying along a giant stream of meltwater that's heading towards a hole in the ice sheet that goes out to the ocean. At the New York Times, I'm both a staff photographer and our senior editor for photo technology. And so that puts me in a perfect position to be able to experiment with new technologies as they come out. So with both drones and VR, trying to be the person who looks at the technology and says, what are its strengths, what are its weaknesses, and how can we bring these into our report? And so instead of giving you the options to branch out to all these disparate parts, we try to seamlessly integrate all of our technologies into this piece. So you have some drone footage at the top, and then you go into this spectacular interactive graphic that takes you from a satellite view of the Greenland ice sheet and brings you down, where then we merge it with photos also shot from a drone at high altitudes, so that you can try to seamlessly transition from satellite view to the drone view all the way to the camp to see this very from a big to a small perspective to put you there. And we don't give you the option of jumping out to see that graphic. We force you to see that graphic. And that's part of the story. And that's what I think is so successful about Greenland, is that every element contributes to the storytelling. And we don't allow you to skip them.